We have a splendid guest joining us, S Sodhi, the managing director of Amul. Now, the Amul example has been one of India's great success stories. Mr. Sodhi, tell us a little bit about dairy and cooperatives as a means of rural empowerment in your experience.
If you talk about dairy or animal husbandry, it is providing jobs to the 100 million rural households. Now, out of that, 80% are landless and marginal. And dairy itself is around $100 billion industry. And out of that, if you talk about organized, is around $30 billion. There's no industry as bigger than, and there's no industry which is providing source of livelihood, that too very stable and remunerative any other industries concerned. And in agriculture, if you see, agriculture contribution to GDP is declining. At the time of independence used to be half, today just 16 to 17%. But it is only animal husbandry which contribution to GDP is growing year after year. It is around 4.5% now. Reason is simple. Now with more prosperity, more income, we are consuming more and more food which is protein and fat rich. And animal husbandry is providing both protein and fat. And like now you showed just now that what you are doing, Swades is doing, movement is doing, and you will see the best source of income in India where you already have got market is animal husbandry, be it dairy, poultry or fisheries. And if you see the potentiality is immense. Today we have got 135 crore people, which will be 170 crore people by 2050. So market is, so we have got 170, 1.70 billion stomach to feed. And that is the market which we have got, and that is the much food we have to grow. And let me tell you, all of us, we know that, during COVID, the one subject, one industry which everybody was talking about, food.
Yeah, so I just got to say that we've been following Amul ever since it started, Mr. Kurian, and it's one of the most impressive, huge cooperative companies, organizations that have really succeeded. But tell us, in your lessons that you have learned over these years, and how can NGOs also learn? How do cooperatives have to think differently from private companies?
Well, I don't think when you are a cooperative or private, you can be business goals or business philosophies or business efficiency will be different. Whether you're cooperative or NGO, firstly, you have to stand on your own feet. You can't be on crutches. You can't work on subsidies. So your model has to be sustainable. Your model has to see you have got the market access. You have to see that the people involved in your model, be it a cooperative or NGO or a private, are able to sustain independently, and they can give their, they can live with dignity. So that is. And today, whether Amul is there or any other cooperative, we are fighting the world's biggest and best corporate multinationals. And still in India, share of cooperatives are growing because simply business philosophy is different. Cooperatives or farmers, or usually cooperatives nothing but farmers or producer-owned organizations. So their business philosophy is to buy their raw material at as high price as possible and sell their finished product at such affordable prices that masses can buy it, masses can afford it, and it is diagonally opposite than any multinational or corporate. That is why in India, Amul and cooperative is growing.
Mr. Sodhi, I'd really like to welcome you to our Raigad and Nasik districts, actually, and welcome Amul there. We've been challenged and struggling. I think the main part where the community actually feels the need to take on dairy as a livelihood and an income. Part of the challenge, I think, is of course the debt and the loan structure and the EMI structure in this country, and how do we sort of expand and allow more people to look at this? Second, how do you all evangelize your farmers and your community to actually take on this? Because it's a very profitable one. It can really augment income of farmers and households in a massive manner. And third is we've created a chain of multiple entrepreneurs, because every 9 kilometers you need a chilling plant if you really want that milk to stay fresh. Any words of advice for us on that?
Well, Ronnie, you're right. Animal husbandry or dairy is the one profession, one industry which landless or marginal farm karo. Cultivation, you should have land. But they are lucky that you are not, vulnerable to the cultivation. We don't know prices are so going up and down. And with 2 cows or buffalo, any farmer or 3, you can earn sitting in your village, just backside of your home. In the housewife, ladies can do it. You can earn 3,000 to 4,000 rupees per animal. So if you got 3, you can earn 10,000 to 11,000 rupees per month sitting at home. Reason is simple, that here you have got a market access. And coming out the potential, let me tell you, 1 lakh liter
Just
milk.
my honor level can be a little higher, will be great. It's still quite.
Yeah, if 1 lakh liter milk can be given to the organized sector, 6,000 jobs can be generated. 5,000 in the rural India and 1,000 in the whole supply chain. So animal husbandry or dairy, poultry or fisheries, one sector which can provide livelihood, especially when you're talking to migrant labor or the people in the areas where you are talking.
Fantastic to hear all of those suggestions, and thank you, sir, very much for joining us.